Okay, here's the last one. Talking about media players. So this, these would be non-real-time options. So this isn't something that we can connect to a laptop if we're running like Touch Designer or something else in real time. These would be something that we have a video file or multiple video files, and it's a way to play all of them. And then syncing is an issue, though. Maybe not easy or possible to sync. Let me just highlight that for this one. For BrightSign, you can. So if you have prepared video files, here's a couple options. So this first one, Mika Spec G2. So I'm going to do, this is going to become like a unboxing thing because I have one right here. Also, it's quite old, but we can see inside. Pretty small, very lightweight. So right here would be space for SD cards, and on the other side would be HDMI output, and then also AV output for if you want separate. Like this thing comes out, but yeah, if it's got HDMI, that's good. So that's it's dependable. It loops. If we look at the website here, this particular model, I guess it's out of stock here, but I've seen it on Amazon and some other places. So $40. That's reasonable, I think. The thing is with this, syncing is out of the question. Even if you had, let's say you wanted to have, 4 different TV monitors all playing some content, and you had 4 of these things hooked up with separate video files, and you have remote control, and you push play at exactly the same moment. All the video files are exactly the same duration. You would think that they will keep in sync, right? Well, they don't. And this is just in general, like back with like DVD players, even like looping things on QuickTime Player, like there's not, things fall out of sync like 1 frame at a time, 2 frames, and then especially in an installation context, after a few hours, then all of a sudden things are completely out of sync. So not dependable for that, but easy, cheap option for if you don't need things to sync, for having lots of these playing different video files, if that's what you wanted to do. So that's the cheap option. Pro option is these BrightSign media players, which we see right here. So again, like quite expensive. So that's for each one of these. I've seen this in a lot of museum and gallery installations. Like probably the first time I still remember this work right here. This was back in 2014. Wow, so 14 channel HD video. Tabor Robach. This was at the Swiss Institute in Soho. So if we see that, this is actually a really great piece. It's all kind of a gamified 3D animation type of thing. But I remember peeking behind all of these TVs, and there were 14 of these BrightSign media players behind. So the way this works is like one of them is assigned to be the kind of, I don't know if you'd call it like the master, I guess is how they call it. And then all the other ones are subordinate. They kind of receive the syncing signal from it. So on each of these, you would have a little micro SD card. You can kind of see right here. So like in this case, there'd be 14 different video files that were put into 14 different BrightSigns. Each video file is on a different micro SD card. And then all of them would be connected via Ethernet to something like this. Just a normal kind of Ethernet switch, which creates a local area network. And within, like all these have, like on the SD card, you also have to put a little bit of code, and it's all in the instructions, that you have to designate, like, is this the master or is this one of the subordinate players? And so that data kind of goes out the Ethernet. So the whole system knows, like, which one is actually sending the timing information. So the master through the Ethernet will be going here and then out to all the other players to keep everything in frame sync. So frame perfect sync. So like not single one will go a single frame out of sync. So that's why these are so expensive. There's a lot other cool things it can do. Also, it has it's 4K, so that's great. I've never used this, but HTML5 performance. So in addition to using the Ethernet as a way to network multiple players, you can also plug this into the actual internet. And so let's say that we were this artist and we actually wanted to change the video programs every day, or based on the weather, or I don't know. This could be connected to the internet, and we could be sitting at our desk and maybe upload different video files to a server somewhere, and then just that video file then gets propagated to the players through the internet. So that's pretty cool. And this is kind of the way a lot of video walls work, like in more of like commercial advertising type of thing, where the content is actually loaded remotely onto some server, and then the players are grabbing it via this Ethernet thing, and then loading it locally onto the players there. So that's a really smart system. Also, the reason why this is so expensive, we've got GPIO, which you need special connectors for that. So if you've used Raspberry Pi, or this really even just like Arduino, this is basically what the pins are in an Arduino. Input-output pins. So it's able to hook up some sort of interactivity, other controllers or buttons. IR here is you can hook up a separate remote control, which sends data via infrared, right? So there's lots of other options. I've never played around with that, but it's possible. But that is definitely the robust and pro option for this sort of a thing.